The American dream is a contradiction. America makes it seem to other countries that once you get to America, the American dream is an easily achievable goal, filled with rich lifestyles and fancy houses. But this is far from the truth. The American dream is not as achievable for foreigners as it's set out to be because America fails to mention how complicated it is to get to America in the first place. The United States government makes it extremely difficult for people to immigrate to the United States and obtain a green card or a visa. This is what a typical green card will look like. A green card is a permanent resident card. This means that one is granted official immigration status in the United States, meaning that you can live and work on a permanent basis in the United States. There are different countless ways to get a green card, but one must qualify exactly for whichever option they choose. One can apply through family, employment, by being a special immigrant, or if they're a victim of abuse or a crime victim. In most cases, though, a United States company must sponsor you or file an immigrant petition for you. This is the easiest way to obtain a green card, and this is what most foreigners try and choose. Though this is the easiest, this still takes months and can take up to several years to fully finish and apply. There are different steps that need to take place in obtaining a green card. Some of these steps can take up to several months and are part of a really extremely long process. But besides this long process, immigrants are required to pay $725 to apply for a green card. I believe America should reconsider this cost because this makes this extremely tough for foreigners, since their main goal in moving to the United States is to normally make a good salary and take this opportunity to make and save money. But in some cases, like in my own family's case, my dad's work covered this fee and paid for the whole process of obtaining a green card. In many cases, if one is sponsored by an American company, they will guide you through the process of obtaining a green card and take care of all costs. My family immigrated to the United States around 7 years ago from Buenos Aires, Argentina. We planned on staying in America only for 2 years, but my parents saw the amount of opportunity and the great advantages of America. We ended up starting the application for a green card around a year and a half after moving here. With my dad's company making it possible, we received our green card around a year and a half later. Okay, so these are my parents, Fernando and Belen. We all immigrated to the United States in 2015. And I'm going to be asking a bunch of questions about it. So, how did you get your working visa, and did Coca-Cola sponsor you?
Yes, we got our visa from Coca-Cola. I was working as an executive in Latin America, based in Argentina. They offered me the opportunity to come to the US, and I said yes, and that's how we initiated the process. So basically, they took care of a lot of the stuff. We just had to do all the process of filling in and providing documents. I just want to tell you that when I was a kid, I already lived in the United States. I came in with my dad. He came here to make his residence as a doctor in NYU. He did very good, and they let us stay in the US. So I had a green card, I had a Social Security. In fact, I have the same Social Security that I have now when I was 6 years old. And when we went back, we retrieved it. You have to give it back, that's what the law says, and that's what it did. So I had to do the whole process again. The process was not very difficult for us, but it did involve a great number of stages.
Okay, and when did you guys decide that a green card would be the best choice for our family after having the working visa, once we moved here?
Well, we lived in Mexico, we lived in Brazil also, and we also almost had the chance to do it there. But being here in the US, Mom really wanted to stay here. And the good thing with having the green card is that I came with a working visa, I was always attached to the Coca-Cola company. That means that if for any reason I left or they fired me, I couldn't keep working in the US. So given the visibility that we wanted to stay here, that's why we went on for the green card. That took about a year after working, a lot of approvals inside Coca-Cola, and then they started the process, which also took another year. So it was, although it was Coca-Cola soliciting it, really took a lot of time to get it.
Okay, and what was, besides the taking time, what was also hard about getting the green card, once we were here?
Yeah. For us, it was but it was easier than any other, maybe foreigner, because Coca-Cola took care of that. And because of the treat that Coca-Cola had with different countries, it's like if you have Americans going to Argentina and it's an exchange. So for that reason, it's easier when Coca-Cola applies for you. And anyway, the law was changing, so instead of taking 3 or 4 months, it took 8, but that's still super short in time comparing to other nationalities or other companies that usually takes years, maybe 5, 4, 6. We have people that are still waiting for the green card for 10 years. So we know that the process was super fast for us, and we were lucky to have it, but we know that it's super difficult and super long.
Okay, and do you guys think the government, like America, makes it hard to get a green card for foreigners?
It's making it super like harder every time, and that's why one
Every
of the
year?
yes,
Okay, hard.
and that's why one of the reasons that we're gonna apply for the U.S. citizenship next year is because after 5 years, you can with a green card you can choose to be an American, and that is because we are afraid that maybe laws will keep on changing.
I believe that America has great corporate support. I believe that if America needs certain skills from abroad or a certain person's skills to help their company, the government will open up its doors and tear down their barriers with no doubts in mind. But if a foreigner is wishing to come along to the United States to change their life and change the outcome of their life, to create a better version of themselves, to be successful in a place full of opportunity, I don't think that America does the same. I believe that these foreigners go through an extremely long and tedious process that a lot of other foreigners just get to skip and, avoid because they have a certain professor or advantage over others. And I really do believe that this should change. People should have a higher chance to be able to live in the United States without going through a long, competitive, and complicated process. And I believe green cards should be given fairly to everyone who qualifies, not just people with an advantageous profession. Therefore, I believe the American dream is a lie and a contradiction. The American dream is set out to be easily achievable and great, but this is simply not true for everyone. Foreigners immigrating to the United States is extremely difficult on its own, and with the government making it extremely difficult to qualify for a green card or visa, this makes it nearly impossible to achieve the American dream. There are many ways to help immigrants in need or immigrants who need assistance or guidance into applying and immigrating to the United States of America. For example, the Northwest Immigration Rights Project pretty much promotes justice by defending and advancing the rights of immigrants through legal services and makes them feel more comfortable and just gives them guidance into immigrating to the United States. If you're interested in helping all these immigrants, I've linked this website below, and you can help make America a more accessible place for immigrants.